Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DiPietro and Bob Zagami.
And now your host, John DiPietro and Bob Zagami. That would be me, John DiPietro. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on RVing in New England. Zagami's here somewhere. He's trying to get from one side of the screen to the other. Oh, he's there. He's made it. You know what?
I don't know why. Oh, wait a minute.
We're live. We're live. We're good. Everything's good. Well, anyway,
okay.
I'll carry on.
Right,
welcome to RVing in New England.
Sorry.
My name is John DiPietro.
Can we back that up? I figured everything out. You don't know what just happened in the last 2 minutes.
I don't.
I hit go live. It tells me I'm out of storage space. I have to delete something in order for it to go live. So I got to run out instead of deleting. I got to buy more storage. I buy more storage. It hits. Then I come in and it hits that other window. I was in another window. Never mind.
Anyway, we made it.
We made it.
Despite the technical issues, folks, we want to thank you so much for spending your Wednesday night with us. And I just want to say a special salute to Walter Swenson, who is having supper at his table with a couple of the little mini sandwiches from Market Basket. And Walter, are those chicken salad or tuna salad? But
ham salad, I hope.
I don't know. So Walter, let us know. Anyway, we want to thank you so much for being here and let you know that we would not be here on RVing in New England without the help of our generous sponsors, Seacoast RV on Route 1 in Saco, Maine. They have Crop, they have Winnebago, they have Elevation, and they have a great store. They have propane, and they have 3 or 4 Labrador dogs in the store. So special thanks.
But you can't buy the dogs.
No, the dogs are not for sale. Kenny, Amanda, creating family fun on Route 1 in Saco, Maine. Folks, even if you're up there during the winter, it's always fun to stop by.
And will you see my surprise announcement about our sponsor tonight? John, even you don't know, John.
Well, do you want to just do it right now? Or do you want to wait till 7:30? Hey, let's do like they do on TV.
Yeah, right. We'll have a big announcement. Right. At halftime tonight, we will have a major announcement.
Announcement.
You want to take it and run with it, and you're going to want to tell every one of your friends and your family members, every one of your RV rally groups. You're going to want to spread the word as if Paul Revere was arriving in town.
Paul Revere, the British are coming. Now, let's go over to the right and look at who our friends are. Jerry Plant is here, our friend from Cape Cod. Audrey Foley, our guest from 2 weeks ago. Audrey, I got to talk to you. Don't leave. Bill Sell, good evening from chilly Metro West Boston.
He ran out. I was talking to him an hour ago. He was running out to get some burgers so that he could get home in time to watch the show and eat his burger.
Yeah, well, this is a show, music, a show to have dinner by. This is really dinner theater, because we try to make people have fun, and they can eat, they can do whatever they want, they can chew loudly and we won't hear them or whatever. Audrey says, hello, wonder why you didn't make it. I don't know what that means. Hi, ho, ho.
I wonder where I was.
Jim Conboy says, Merry Christmas to all. Oh, Walter has tuna salad from Market Basket.
That's good. If you can't do ham salad, tuna salad is always good.
Yep. So wait a minute.
Walter, even though you're eating tuna salad, so you're probably trying to eat right. I hope you got some pickles and potato chips too.
Yeah. He's probably got a big bag of Cape Cod potato chips.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Exactly. So Walter, do you go to the Shrewsbury store or the Oxford store? Willie Miller, hey, love you, cool dudes. All the best, Bob. He called you back. Bob says,
I got his message.
Willie.
Willie did
a good.
Wait a minute. I posted it the other day. Willie did
a great show.
Incredible interview with Chris Doherty.
PhD,
our good friend Chris Doherty. And Willie, he continues to improve with that. I think it was Willie's best podcast. So if you're not catching Living Life's Journey, check out Willie Miller's podcast too. So don't give us all your love. We can share it. We're big guys. We can share the love.
Okay. Willie's a good guy, but I got to warn people, if they're near Willie in the summer, watch out. Willie sweats like a pig. I remember that, Willie. I was staying the hell away from you back at Open House.
Those hot Open House shows.
Oh, thanks. I love you.
Charlie Butler, glad to have you back. Jim Roy, good evening. Gentlemen, sorry I'm late.
Yeah, but hold on. 7 minutes, you're not late. You get 10 minutes. You get a 10-minute grace period.
So are you changing the rules? I didn't.
Well, you know what?
I didn't authorize that rule.
It's just like going into class in college. They give you 10 minutes before you're considered late. And speaking of college,
you want to talk about Harvard University?
No, I want to talk about University of Pennsylvania first. Yeah. Anyway, we're not supposed to talk about politics here, but you know what? Here's one thing that's very interesting. We could tell people to go to RVTI, get a degree, and get a certification, and you don't have to deal with people telling you that men can have babies and all that other stuff.
In which bathroom to use, and
in which you spend $70,000 or $80,000. RVTI is less than that, and probably a lot less than that. Besides, you get to work with cool people.
It's a good point though, because I watched every minute of those hearings the other day, and the thought that went through in my mind was being a parent, spending $100,000 for your kid to go to Harvard, and she's the chief cook and bottle washer. She's in charge of the ranch, and the same one for Penn and MIT. And man, if that's what's leading the country, we got a big problem.
We do have a big problem. And here's one thing that people need to understand. And the interesting part about this audience that we're talking to right now is we have people from all different walks of life and all different numbers of degrees that they have behind their name. But I have figured out over the 70 plus years that I've been living and working, teaching at 3 colleges and working at another one for 5 years, that there is almost an inverse relationship between the amount of common sense that you have and the amount of degrees that you have. And, I don't know if Frank Palange is on here, but, Frank talks about, if you can't get into college, go become a mechanic. That, that was true 50 years ago.
Yeah, but they didn't push it. They didn't push it. The axiom was true, but they pushed everybody into 4-year colleges. That's why we had that drain. But now, the right choice right now is go to a trade school. Go to trade school, come out, no debt, get into gainful employment and fun things, go 9 to 5 and make 3 times what your buddies that went to college make.
Yep, exactly. Street smarts, Julie. That's exactly right. Randall Murray. Randall, if you're up in Vermont, how much snow do you have up in Vermont? I didn't go to college. In my world, if you're 5 minutes early, you're late. You know what, Jim Roy? You're right. You're absolutely right. And I tell these kids in college right now that when they're applying for a job, that if you have an interview at 9 o'clock in the morning, you be at that interview ready to go at 20 minutes of. And that person out front that is going to check you in and maybe offer you a water or a coffee is going to comment to that interviewer that, wow, he or she was there 20 minutes early, all set to go. Because in today's world, if you're on time, you're late.
In sales, we called that the Vince Lombardi rule. You got to be 15 minutes early.
Exactly.
No questions asked. Just be there. And if you are there early, and we like to talk, John and I do, you talk to the receptionist, you'll find out a lot of information about the person that you're going to be meeting with.
Oh, you absolutely will.
Yep.
And I have always found the craziest part about business is that they pay the people at the front door the lowest amount of money that they can. And, that's ridiculous because that is such an important position where they get intelligence on the interviewee or the person who's coming to sell, because they can tell right away if you come in and you're disheveled, They can tell if you have a condescending attitude toward the receptionist.
Yep.
And all of that attitude that you have is delivered to the person that you're going to have the interview with. So
absolutely.
anyway,
Absolutely.
However we got onto that.
Let me jump down. How we get on that? Let's see. Willie Miller says, what? Oh, thanks, guys. Love you. And good day from Australia. And Mark and Julie Bennett. And Willie does love us. Audrey says, wait, was that the Willie which Mustache crashed our show? That's Willie. That is Willie. He claims it's going to come off somewhere close to the holiday, but I think he still had it on the other day. Yeah, he did.
Well, Audrey is an expert on mustaches because she has a husband who's a firefighter. And what are firefighters known for is those handlebar mustaches. Willie, do one of that next time. Grow a handlebar mustache.
Back in 1800, maybe.
Well, no, they still do.
It's the closest to drive there. Bernie, Uncle Bernie's in the house. Oh, gentlemen, 9 minutes late. I do apologize. Well, I don't know, Bernie. DiPietro's changing the rule, and I guess anything under 10 minutes, you no longer have to do it.
Well, unless you're in Texas or in another time zone.
Yes, Mustache Willie. Wasn't there a song Mustache Willie? Oh no, that was Mustang Sally. Mustang Sally and Mustache Willie. Jim says, I didn't go to college in my world. Oh, you already said that one. Randy, where are you these days? You haven't been posting any of those random pictures. Must be back, maybe back on the ranch. And Mark and Julie, correct. Street smarts. She agreed with me. Late again. Well, Don again. Don had, even though you're late, you missed a gem because DiPietro says he's changing the rules on me. He says if you're within 10 minutes, you no longer have to apologize for being late.
Well, I'm pardoning my friends.
There's a grace period there.
Yep.
And Randy, Jim, welders in North Dakota make $200,000 a year. Wow. Many college students will soon find what they learned is outdated before they graduate. Yeah, it is even more so after you watch those three gems. Hey, Bob, I'm back on the show. Well, thanks, Michael. I'm glad. Glad to hear you going to Daytona. We might do a little trip planning down there. We got some friends that might have some tickets down in Daytona, so we're gonna do a little homework on our own. I know you already got your tickets. Don says, do we classify these as Chef Boyardee rules? Well, that's a good possibility, Don.
Could be.
That could be. Yeah,
it could be.
So we got a couple of topics tonight, John. Which you
know what? Look, we world premiered it last week. Let's go more into detail this week because there's a couple topics about the trip to Quartzite. Okay, number one, there's the trip itself. And number two is why are we taking the trip? And actually 2.B, part 2B, is why you should consider
2.0.
Why you should consider a trip like this. And want to talk about the trip first?
Sure.
Okay.
That'll keep the suspense because you folks have to stay the halfway mark. I've got a major announcement about the Boston show. So we're going to make you wait and listen to John tell us about his trip. So why should these good folks take that trip?
Okay, because you never know when the fourth quarter is going to end abruptly. What do you mean by that?
Fourth quarter? You mean go into overtime? Go into overtime or leave the field?
You know what? Many times you're carried off the field. And in life, we don't get a chance to go to overtime. So this past year, my wife and I went to 6 funerals. 5 of the people who were the guest of honor at that funeral were younger than us. And we've said all along, we've got to do our traveling.
Is the guest of honor the person in the casket?
The person in the casket.
Guest of
We're younger than us. Okay. One of them is young as 41 years old.
Whew.
Okay. So we never get a chance to know when the final chapter is about to begin. So I said, when we ended our 12 years of babysitting, or my wife would say, when she ended the 12 years of her babysitting our 6 grandkids, that we would be free. Now, interestingly, today we had, in the last month, we've spent at least 6 or 7 days transporting those kids to doctor's offices back and forth. Today, Mila was at the doctor. Monday, Geneva was at the doctor. Last week, Nolan was at the doctor. So although we don't have to babysit, we are called upon for medical transport details all the time so that my kids can still do their jobs. But I've said we've got to travel while we're healthy. And so many times you see people with these big Class A diesel pushers, and they get out and they've got a walker when they get down the bottom of the stairs, or one of the spouses is in a wheelchair and that type of thing. And I said, that really wasn't what it was designed for. So the plan originally would be to go to Florida in January and February. And then I had heard so much about Quartzite, I said, let's go to Quartzite. And for those of you that don't know where it is in the southwest corner of the state of Arizona, just 16 miles from the California border.
Yeah, and any of you who have been to Quartzite, put some comments in the comments section. Let us know if you've been there. Like it, yep. Don't like it.
Yep, exactly. I think Audrey. I think what you call it. I think Audrey's been there.
Not Audrey. I know Mark and Julie have been there. Mark and Julie did a lot of work out there last year with Sandy on some of the campgrounds and stuff.
Yep. And we'll also see that Tony Barthel, he hasn't checked in yet tonight, but we'll see Tony in a couple of weeks because he's running the seminars today.
You could be the backup seminar guy, John. If somebody.
Well, I already told him I already volunteered for.
Yeah, you could be in the wings as backup fill-in.
Introducing them, and we want to do some. We want to do. I hate to use the word focus groups because it sounds so corporate, but we want to talk to some of these people that are at Quartzite. Keep in mind, at Quartzite, I found out today when I did an interview with the promoter of that show, there are about 700,000 RVers that are in that Quartzite, Arizona, in November, December, January, and February. 700,000 of them, because they camp for free on BLM land. They throw up these big solar things on top of their units and live for 3-4 months as hippies. So, the fact is,
you'd fit right in.
Yeah, fit right in. Exactly.
Speaking about the organizer, should we introduce her to the gang?
Yeah, let's talk a little about that show. It's the show is in its 41st year, and it's the one with the big tent. So the promoter right now, her dad started the show in 1983. When interestingly, he was a sales rep for A&E awnings, which are now a Dometic product. Right. And he was an enterprising person. He went door to door or RV to RV, knocking on doors, selling awnings, A&E awnings. And then came back next year with a small little tent, and then another tent, and then another tent. And now that tent is gigantic. I don't even want to guess the square footage of the tent. But why don't we go to that interview, and then we can talk a little bit about the trip. Hey, everybody, we have a special guest tonight. We've been talking about Quartzite so much tonight. And what I happen to do is find out who the promoter of the show is. Her name is Kimmy King. And Kimmy, tell all the people in New England what Quartzite is and the great time that we're going to have there.
Quartzite is one of a kind. This is going to be our 41st annual event. We are a sports vacation and RV show. We are a little different than most RV shows as we are consumer based. So if you want to see the latest and greatest things in RVing and want to buy them on the spot, come to Quartzite. We've got things from generators to solar panels to cookware to tires to electric bikes, all of the above. And you can get service done on your rig while you shop, and you can get educated at a seminar. And it's just a beautiful place, and it's a place you have to see.
And it's only 3,000 miles from New England, but it's just a short transcontinental flight or a 2-week drive if you're going to do like we're doing. And
we have sunshine.
Sunshine and no snow. Right. No snow.
Those are the great things.
So many people, I'm sure that you must do license plate checks as to where people are coming from. And I'm sure that you see plenty of East Coast and Northeast rigs as well, right?
Yes, you know what's really funny is my father was the original owner, Kenny, and he's no longer with us. But one of our favorite things to do was get in our golf cart and go through the parking lot and to just try and see if we can find all 50 states. And we usually did. It was pretty neat. We saw a lot from the East Coast. Definitely a lot of the Canadian contingency was there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians love to come down. But yes, I would say the Midwest and East Coast is the heart of us. We are the snowbirders. The snowbird RVer is the heart of my show, and I couldn't be more thankful for that.
And in addition to your show, there'll be also about another 750,000 RVers there, right?
Absolutely. People like to come. They may not come to my show, but they love Quartzite. They love to be out there. They love to get away from the weather. And it's just such a beautiful town to just, it's so quiet. It's so peaceful. And it's breathtaking. It's one of those places on your bucket list that you have to go.
Hey, now back to our show. Thank you so much for being with us.
Interesting. Do you pay? Let's go to the audience here, because I'm sure that there's probably some good comments. Let's see. There's definitely a limit to how long after retirement you can do a Class A. Okay, that's that. Let's see.
Well, go to Don Hawes.
Let me go back to Don again. Nobody's last words were ever, "I should have spent more time at work." That's for damn sure. Audrey says, Quartzite sounds like, oh no, see, I'm surprised, Audrey. I would have thought you and the gang would have been out there. And
well, they've been living the corporate life too. So this is
Cockasuck's Truck and Q.
Man. Yeah, that is a honey wagon.
Oh, okay.
A honey wagon.
All right. And the Bennetts have weighed in. We have been many times. Don't like Q the town. Well, I guess if you're a regular, that's what you call it, Q instead of Quartzite.
Right.
So
but keep in mind,
experience it during the big tent RV show. It's crowded, but such a sense of camaraderie among RVers there. It's fun. But our favorite is camping there outside of the most popular time when it's quiet, but very scenic. In other words, when Quartzite show is not going on. Arizona sunsets are amazing. Well, so are Florida's, Miss Bennett. And it's not just for hippies. You can boondock in comfort amidst the mountains and cactus. We spent 7 weeks boondocking in Quartzite in 2020 during lockdown in our renovated country coach. Wow. There you go. Right from the source. Sorry. Oh, now, Dante, you do have to apologize. John.
Yeah, 24 minutes.
John installed a new rule that you do not have to apologize if you are within the first 10 minutes. Remember that. But don't worry about that, Dante. It won't apply to you because when you're late, you're always more than 10 minutes late. Hello, Sandy. I like visiting the yacht club. The yacht club in Quartzite.
That's interesting because I'm not familiar with that because last thing I know, Arizona didn't have a coastline.
Right. I got a bridge I can sell you. That's what she's doing. That's a joke.
Yeah.
And then now Sandy says I like visiting the yacht club, and immediately Julie Bennett has a side conversation going.
Immediately.
Within
like
the very next
not
comment.
Even a minute. Within the same minute.
Here's Sandy, and here's Julie. The next thing.
Yep.
Wow.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Explain how much time we got here.
We got 7:27. We got time.
3 or 4 minutes. Explain your caravan though. You're going down to Florida.
Okay. So do you have the slide with the sponsors? Because this is only possible because of the sponsors.
That's correct.
Okay.
Boom.
So what we're able to do is this. Because this cost money to go out there, and we're going to do a lot of broadcasting from it. We found some sponsors that are. I'm going to read them off to you because we said we would. Winnebago. There's their logo. But Campers Inn. We're going to be stopping at Campers Inn all up and down the East Coast. We're going to even stop at a Campers Inn in Phoenix, and do a broadcast from there. So our friends at EasyCare, which is a warranty program, Spot Tonight, where you can get.
I had a text from Walt Burns about an hour ago. He says, "You're going to get my logo in there tonight?" I said, "It's already there. It's already on the slide."
Yep, Spot Tonight, where regardless of how late you want to try to make a reservation, Spot Tonight might be able to take care of you. Our friends at Woodall's Campground Magazine and RV Business will be delivering messages about the show. Spacious Skies Campground, which goes all the way from Maine down to Savannah, Georgia, is one of our sponsors. And we're going to be staying at a couple of their places on the way down to Florida. And RV Life Trip Wizard is going to be providing our guidance. And of course, the New England RV Dealers Association, RVing in New England, will be bringing you up to date on this. And again, Winnebago is a sponsor. But what we're doing is we're all meeting on January 3rd in Tallahassee, Florida, and taking 13 days to go across, 2,100 miles to go across. We're, a couple of days in New Orleans, a couple of days in Galveston, a couple of days in El Paso, traveling no more than 300 miles per day. And I know Audrey violated her own rule on that last day when they did 680 miles coming back. But this is called a crawl. This is not a 50-yard dash or a 3,000-mile dash. And you know what? It's 35 RVs going across country. And then when we get to Quartzite, we're meeting another 250 RVs that are just Views and Navions that are all Winnebago products. That's thus the Winnebago involvement. So we're looking forward to it. Let us know, folks, over in the column on the right.
I don't think you mentioned Camper Report, and you stopped at NERVDA. You have Camper Report and Go RVing.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I stopped. You're right. Camper Report show. Obviously, we will be doing reports on there, as well as our friends at Go RVing, which is the RV Industry Association. So with that being said, if you have done a caravan, let us know how you liked it, and let us know what you think about the 300-mile maximum per day. And the beauty of this whole thing is I don't have to plan a thing. I'm just going to sit back and go with the flow. My wife said, "You will never do that. You like to be in charge. You like to tell people what to do." I said, "I've never done this before, but I'm looking forward to just playing a soldier and not a colonel."
All right, so, couple quick comments before we hit the jackpot with a big announcement. I wanted to get all the way down to the back because Audrey had a question for John. We can't do that tonight, but John can do it, or we can get you an evaluation. We'll be glad to get you an evaluation unit from RV Life. Audrey, if you want to play around it before you do your next trip, just John will get back in touch with you on that.
Yeah. Well, if we have the time, Walter is the expert on that. Walter walks me through it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
right.
Bob, let's go to our sponsor first, and then you come out with your big announcement.
Boop.
Okay. So again, as always, special thanks to Seacoast RVs, Route 1 in Saco, Maine. And they have park models, they have towables, they have motorized units by Winnebago, and they're just nice, friendly people. They've got a great camp store. Anything that you want for like Christmas gifts that for those of you that don't live on the South Shore where you can go to a Majors RV, if you live up north and want to take a great ride. I mean, there's so many great restaurants up in Saco, Biddeford, Old Orchard Beach that are open year round. That would be a nice Saturday or Sunday trip to do. So stop in and see our friends at Saco RV, at Seacoast RVs, Route 1, Saco, Maine. And now, Mr. Zagami, if you have a drum roll, go ahead with your drum roll.
I don't have a drum roll, but we want to spend a little bit of time talking. Why is Mark and Julie still up there? Let me get rid of that. About the Boston RV and Camping Expo coming up on the 25th through the 28th of January this year. And next year on 2024. So that's what we want to talk about. But the big announcement is, get over there, is something that we haven't done in, I'm going to say, since I was a kid when I used to go to the RV. It's been a long time. We sent
before RVs were invented, by the way.
Right, before, with horse and buggies.
Before cars were invented.
In August and September, we sent couple of bulletins out to our dealers and said, I'd really like to give away an RV at the show. And they said, oh, it's expensive. It's this, it's that. And some dealers like doing it. Some dealers don't like doing it. And we didn't, in the first pass, we didn't get any responses. So we did a couple of times. And finally I had a call from, you might expect it, our sponsor. Seacoast RVs is donating a Winnebago Hike 100 travel trailer, retail value $30,000. And all you have to do is sign up for it at the show. And we're going to see if you can do it through tickets also. So congratulations and thank you to Seacoast RVs. The unit will be on display at the show. And Kenny said, we're going to step up once again. And we really appreciate it. This is not a inexpensive investment. But Seacoast has sponsored our show several times, and it's going to be near their display. It will not be in their display. It'll be a separate display. It'll be the show giveaway, but it has been provided by Seacoast RV, and that, of course, will be on the signage. So I'm delighted that at this point in time we can announce, and we just got everything signed off and got the approval from Gary this afternoon, that I could mention it tonight. And it's single axle, 3-person coach. And hopefully if you win it, you will use it. If you've got grandkids that you can give it to. If you don't like it, you can sell it. But it's going to be the hit of the show, because we have never, certainly in the current generation, we just have not had anything like this at the Boston show. So thank you once again to Seacoast RV and Amanda and Kenny and Kendra and Brittany. So get your stuff. You'll be seeing information on this on the show website. You'll be seeing it certainly on our own Facebook pages. You can get us questions there. Bart, you always have the ability to buy your tickets online. Now, that's not the slide I wanted, is it? No, that's the slide I wanted. If you go to bostonrvexpo.com, there are 2 slots there that you can buy tickets. They went live today. You can buy them online today and going forward. And I wanted them up there at this point in time so that you had plenty of time to buy them for holiday gift giving. So you click on either one of those, and that will bring you to the online purchase page, which gives you all of the information on the left side about the show. You can order your adults, your children, how you want to ship. You get the online package. If you slide down that page, you get all the event details, the location, the time of the shows. Now pay attention here. This year, we're opening at 4:00, so 4 to 8 on Thursday. And that's really hoping to attract the young generations that are in Boston, that want to go out for a cocktail, spend a couple of hours at the show and see what RVs are all about, because there is still tremendous interest in RVs and buying them. Friday, come on in at noontime to 8 p.m. And John, we got our reservations for Tuesday night with Mr. Hawking. Just
Thursday night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday?
Yeah. Tuesday. Yeah, the show opens Wednesday. I think you and I are both flying in on Tuesday.
The show opens Thursday.
I'm sorry, Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night we have reservations.
Right.
Saturday, 10 to 8. Now starting a little bit later this year, so Saturday, 10 to 8. And we're in the final stages of putting together with Mr. Bill Sell, who is on here. Last year was a smashing success. We did New England, RVing in New England live from the show lobby. We did it for about an hour. We're looking at doing it maybe for 2 hours. We're putting some more, we wanted to give you some teasers tonight to let you know what we're working on. We're not just sitting back there. We are full throttle ahead on the show, but I think we're going to try to do it from 8 to 10 a.m. and have a lot of guests and get the people in the lobby, because we expect that on Saturday there'll be a real long line come Saturday morning, and then Sunday 10 to 4 in the afternoon. Box office closes an hour before the show. So you have those to look forward to also. Now, there is a Facebook page also. It's called Boston RV and Camping Expo. For those we know you guys are on Facebook, so we want you to get on there and tell your friends about the show. There is also a link there for you to buy tickets.
Cool.
That's my background, but those of you who've been there know what the Boston Convention Exhibition Center is like. But this year we're going to ask you to do a lot more sharing. I want to really pop up on the attendance this year. We get about 17,000 people, and that's a lot. It's good. It's a premium show. It's certainly a premium show in New England, but we need you guys to be a little bit more active this year. So I'm going to come up with some kind of a contest that if you share the giveaway with somebody, I have to sit with Michelle Fontaine, our consultant, on Facebook and come up with a prize for you. So in the comment column, what would motivate you enough that when we post show information, including sneak peeks, because sneak peeks are going to start hopefully this week, that when you see a sneak peek, that you share it with 10 people. Let's say 3 people. If every time we put one of those out, you share it with 3 people, and we can track who does the most sharing. What kind of a prize would you like if you were to do that? That every time we do a sneak peek, you push it out there. You might miss a couple of days, or you might miss a couple of posts, but we can run a leaderboard every week to tell you who's in the lead. And if that gets you excited, let me know. Now, you cannot say that you want to win the Winnebago hike trailer. I may be a nice guy, but I'm not going to give away 2 of them. What do you think, John?
Well, I think there's always a way to incentivize this audience because they're a great audience, and you know what? They want the show to succeed because they go to it and they have fun. They enjoy themselves. It's in Boston. It's a special day. It's an expensive day, but you know what? You go out to some of those restaurants, like you just said. We got our reservations set. Make a day of it. Don't just go to the show and then rush home to wherever you are. Even if you want to stay in a hotel that night, come back the next day, we will comp you admission the second day of the show. So When you're leaving that day, if there's something that you didn't see, or you want to come back when it's less crowded, say Saturday it's very crowded and you want to come back on Sunday, we don't think it will be involving the Patriots in the playoffs. So that's the issue.
In fact, they've already, isn't that nice? First time in about 20 years, they've already eliminated themselves, so we don't care who's in the playoffs.
Right.
It is not going to be in Foxborough, and it's not going to be the Patriots.
Yep.
Let's see what
Jim Convoy wants a free booth and hotel for the show to share sneak peeks. So exactly.
Let's see what we got. They're 300 miles a day. I want to get past those.
Now, Bob, let's do one thing right now, because we had plenty of side conversations on this over here about wanting to know more about RV life. So why don't we do this? Plan this right now. Why don't we plan? Let's ask Walter. Okay, if Walter, and let's call Patrick Buchanan down in Texas, who works for RV Life together. And maybe next week on a portion of our show, we can do a demo for RV Life. And then better than that, ask Patrick Buchanan if he will give our viewers a discount that want to purchase the product.
He does that. And we do show one of our seminars at the show is Patrick explaining.
Yep.
Now, that was from a couple of years ago when we did the internal expo, but I could have him do an update video.
Yep.
So we can show that at the show. But I like that idea, because what I would like to do every show between now and showtime is have at least a half hour of show information, maybe an hour, depending on whether we're talking to seminar speakers. And your good point. Let's bring on Patrick and Walter and talk about it to see what it can do. Dawn says RV Life and RV Trip Wizard are a must-have. We agree, and they will give us a special discount for the Boston show, and for this show when we have it. Sandy, you can PM me. Audrey Foley Egan, Sandy Ellington says you can PM her. I will definitely. Audrey's going to definitely look into it now.
Yeah, I thought Audrey would have had that. All those spreadsheets that Audrey does.
I did think,
Yep. all those spreadsheets that Audrey does with the miles between, I have the same thing on mine, and I don't even know what the hell I'm doing.
Yep.
But it says the miles, it gives the cost per mile, it gives the tolls, it gives the campground fees. And I just plug in the campground and it plugs in everything else. How long it will take me to go if I leave at a certain time of day. Just absolutely amazing. So RV Life Trip Wizard, special thanks to Walter Swenson, who maybe not, yep, Solo Stove's a cool idea. So Walter, will you join us next week to do part of that?
Uncle Bernie said, wow, that's amazing. He's not talking about RV Trip Wizard. I'm sure he's talking about the fact that one of our dealers is going to give away an RV, a $30,000 RV. Thank you, Seacoast RVs. Ditto Audrey, PM me for any info on Trip Wizard. There you go. Dante says, super. I assume he means about the giveaway. This I like. Now, somebody had that. Did I miss it above? Oh, Charlie Butler claimed, give Charlie Butler credit for that. If you've been on any of these consumer magazines or RV magazines or the internet, they are just going crazy with advertising and the addition of products. They get everything from a little one that sits on the table to big ones, and they even have a pizza oven now. But that would be a great prize, Walter. And
Jason Cole has a pizza oven.
Wait a minute. Let's see what Audrey says here.
Yeah, what does she mean by that? GC to one
GC
of the campgrounds.
To one of the campgrounds that are there.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I assume she means the campgrounds that are in
the show.
I don't know. Anybody decipher your comment for us, if you would, Audrey? I still have issues with RV Pro.
Okay, we'll get that all straightened out.
Okay.
Not sure. Bring your questions next week. Oh, gift certificate. Certificate. Thank you, Sandy.
Okay. All right. Let's go back up.
Yeah.
Let's rewind that. And where was it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Gift certificate. One of the campgrounds that are there. Oh, you mean at okay. At the at the
I
show.
know for a fact that
one of the campgrounds that we will do that, and we will talk to them. And I'm sure that Billy McNamara up at Loons Haven would do that. The other thing for you folks to know, and you've probably caught it, and it's baffling us, but each year we get a few less campgrounds. Campgrounds are, I won't say they're boycotting the RV shows, but I would like you to talk to the campgrounds that you frequent and say, hey, why aren't you people exhibiting at a show where you got, close to 20,000 campers going through that are going to be looking for campgrounds? I think they got a little bit lazy, quite honestly, during COVID. They didn't have to, advertise it. The phone was ringing off the hook. They were selling them out all the time. People were complaining they couldn't find campgrounds, but let's get back to business as usual.
But you know what? I will tell you, Audrey, I'll definitely be able to take care of you with a some type of discount at Spacious Skies up in New England. They've got so many properties. Go to Spacious Skies, spaciousskiescampgrounds.com, and you'll see all of their New England properties.
Yeah, Jerry's got a good point. There are a lot of corporate takeovers of campground, much like there are when we see a lot of our dealers being chewed up by mega dealers. We'll have that, but and that's all the more reason for the small, independent, family-owned campground to be in front of you people and talking about how nice it is to do business with that local campground that you know who they are. And just what Audrey said, small mom and pop campgrounds have been taken over by corporations. Well, they have, but there are a lot of dealers that have been taken over by corporations. But guess what? There's a lot of independent dealers who aren't selling to mega dealers. And you and I both know that those small, independent family businesses, they know who you are. They greet you in the morning when you walk in. If they see you in the parts and accessory store, they come over and say, hey, Walter, Audrey, how you doing? Where are you going on vacation this year? Tough to get that at the mega dealers. So there's always a place for a small, independent. I don't care what business you are in. There is always a place to be successful and compete against the big guys, because they're going to draw a lot of traffic. They're going to spend a lot of money advertising, and a lot of those people are going to come see you also.
Yep. Bob, let's go back to the question I asked earlier.
Which one?
We asked a whole bunch of questions all at once, but the question specifically I want to ask again was, have any of you ever participated in a convoy or a group of several RVers, like on a 1 week or 2 week trip where you went from place to place? Just wondering.
Well, that's what Audrey does. Maybe
Well,
Audrey can comment.
yeah, somewhat, yeah.
She has a small caravan whenever she goes out with 10 or 12 campers.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, Walter and his gang with Frank and Jason and Rhonda and Joe, they probably have several times a year that they go 4 or 5, or maybe they just meet up at a particular.
Yeah, but I think they just go from their house to that place.
They all
meet there for the weekend. I'm talking about on Monday you go to one place, on Tuesday you go to the next place, a couple of hours away, and that type of thing. I just wonder how people like that, because this particular program that we're going on, Bob Kelly is the wagon master, if you will, and he's been out there 2-3 times. He's a retired police officer from New Jersey, and he's got it set up that we will travel. Folks, listen to this. We will travel at exactly 63 miles per hour on cruise control and go from place to place on Interstate 10 down south, heading from Florida to Mississippi, Louisiana,
Biloxi, Mississippi, Gulfport.
Yep.
To the Panhandle. Yeah.
So anyway, 63 miles an hour. He says it'll work great if you know how to run cruise control at 63 miles an hour. So we're looking forward to that. But anyway, what did Dawn says?
Dawn says, we just to clarify, Dawn, we do not disqualify. If we in years past we did have KOA in there. We had Spacious Skies last year. She's building a good network of campgrounds. Corporations, just like the mega dealers, are allowed to exhibit, but in the case of the mega RV dealers, well, we got Campers Inn. Campers Inn is a mega dealer. They are the largest exhibitor that we have in the show this year. So you get it that way, and you get it on the campground side, and it's fine if we get Jellystone or get the corporations to come in and advertise and present their products. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What is she saying here? Sandy says, yes, Mark hates it.
Must be about
campgrounds, eating up the campgrounds. Yeah. Jerry's Plant says that's what we do. That's what we do. 63 gets you an average of 50. Yep. That's
about right.
Whenever I plan and I'm on the road, I always plan at 50 miles an hour. Always seems to work. That's what your effective true rate is going to be by the time you add them all up at the end of the day, and all your pit stops and your lunches and everything else, and you sit down and you say,
because if you drive at 70, 75 miles an hour between the time that you have to stop for tolls or fuel or whatever, average, you will average out a 300-mile trip should take you 6 hours.
Walter says leave at least 2 to 3 campers worth of space between the rigs while in transit for proper traffic management.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but you leave 2 or 3. I agree with you, and certainly for safety and traffic management. But damn well some idiot is going to squeeze in between the 2 campers.
It happens at funerals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Mark,
it's turbo mode.
Caravanning because no one else has turbo mode, or at least he doesn't think they do. Well, again, but John, didn't your guy talk about it? Yes, it's a caravan, but it's not a strict caravan.
Right.
It's not wake up at 8 o'clock, and if you're not downstairs at 8:30, we're leaving without you. It's a much more relaxed environment, right?
Again, being a former police officer, he knows that you can't run 15 RVs in a row. You're just not going to be able to do it. And the thing is this, we're going to start with about 15 in Florida, and then we pick up 5 more in Biloxi. We pick up 7 more in Nolens. We pick up 5 more in Texas, so that by the time we get to Quartzite, we're at 35. And then we meet 250 others that are there from basically California, Arizona, and Canada. So at no time will there be 200 RVs on the road at one time.
John, you got a pencil handy there, John?
I do.
There is there is a super duper Krispy Kreme right off of I-10 in Biloxi, Mississippi. They're all up and down there, but that one's that's one of the early ones. It's really big and they're always hot.
Oh, really? Okay. So they're always running.
And you like casinos too, John. You can stay right at the casino there overnight at one of the nights.
Biloxi.
Again,
Yeah.
right
The thing is this: we've got our junk food lined up, and we're starting with Wawa as we leave New England. We leave New England on December 26th, and when we get into Pennsylvania, one of our first stops for fuel and coffee and snacks, because Wawa has the pretzels. Now, that's
you and Mary Beth. That's not the caravan.
Right. No. Until we get down there.
Yeah.
But we start, we have to start where we start. But keep in mind, do not mix up Wawa with Sheetz, because the coffee at Sheetz can't hold a candle to the coffee at Wawa. And then let me know, you guys, if you've done this. And then we stop for the world's best chicken. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the world's best chicken. I have to thank my brother Michael for letting me know about Royal Farms. They're down in the Mid-Atlantic. They're in Virginia, Maryland, Delaware. I think there's one or two in Pennsylvania, and I think North Carolina. But Royal Farms for chicken. And then as we get further south, we've got a Buc-ee's now. The new Buc-ee's in South Carolina.
Yep, brand new one, big one.
Brand new one.
Also on Biloxi, you talked about fast food and stuff. I ate my first McDonald's in Biloxi, Mississippi, when I went down there for basic training right out of high school. And at that time, 2 hamburgers for 15 cents.
Yep.
I won't tell you that was a long time ago, but it was a hell of a deal.
Yeah. I remember the first time. I remember there was
find an extra quarter in my pocket and I could eat for the day.
Yep. So Dante goes 59 miles an hour. And Audrey says, what do we got? We got some great comments here. What a great group of people here.
All the Buc-ee's we went by were too packed to even try. Come on, Audrey. They got 1 million parking spaces. Now, if you're towing, it could be difficult. Sometimes they get a lot of complaints that they're not RV friendly.
Oh, no. I've never seen them that crowded.
They can do it. Leave it to Bob to know where the Krispy Kreme is. Do they serve Jack Daniels? No, you have to stop in Lynchburg, Tennessee at the distillery. Pick up your Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
I-10 goes through Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, the crawfish capital of the world. Yes, it does. On its way to New Orleans, right? You're going to stop at New Orleans and go to Cafe Du Monde to get some.
We are going. We're going 2 days. We're stopping at a state park just north of Lake Pontchartrain, and then getting some shuttles so people will have cars. We're going down into New Orleans for 2 days.
Oh, nice.
We'll come back and forth between.
You're going to go to Cafe Du Monde. Okay.
Yep.
Audrey says, we've seen those groups in our travels, and they have a route and travel at their own pace. That's what this guy's going to do.
Yeah.
And we've seen that. What do you do? Dante's at 159. 2 or 3 campers length. You'll have 2 BM. You'll have 2
and a state trooper in between.
State trooper in there. That's probably a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the guys, one of the gentlemen is a retired law enforcement, so I think that we'll be able to talk our way out of pretty much anything. But besides, how many? I will say I have seen some crazy RVers pass us. I'll be at 63 miles an hour with cruise control on a regular road. And these guys will pass us at 70, 75 miles an hour. And I'm saying, you've got a fifth wheel. Are you crazy?
French Quarter, not so much of a fan. No, it's not.
No.
And it is a high crime area down there.
Yeah.
But it's not what it was, 20, 30 years ago. And even people stay away from the Mardi Gras, but it's patrolled. And it's always unique if you haven't seen it.
It's a tourist spot.
Right.
Anytime a couple times.
Anytime you leave the Northeast, the thing my wife misses the most is Dunkin' Donuts. Well, there's no problem. We are actually getting a Dunkin' Donuts right here in Del Webb, Naples. It'll be 5 minutes from my house. They're actually in construction right now. So they're pretty much up and down the coast now, I would think. All right, so you got to spread the word that there's going to be a giveaway of a Winnebago hike courtesy of Seacoast RV at the show. You're going to buy your tickets online. You're going to spread the word there so that people can get them for gifts and holiday. And once you see those sneak peeks start coming, start sharing it with at least 3 people, and I'll get with Michelle, and within a day or 2, we'll have the prize. I really like the idea of the solo stove. That's a great product, and the full size one. And NERVDA would be very happy to donate that to the person that shares the most. But we're going to put a leaderboard. So if you get active and you do it for 2 or 3 weeks and drop off, you're going to drop down the leaderboard. So help us out and let's have some fun with it.
Now, Bob, that's surprised that only one person's going to win the solo stove and one person's going to win the hike. Now, I'm going to talk to our friends at Spacious Skies and see if they will provide us with some type of discount coupon for everybody who shares more than, we'll figure out a number, more than 5 shares. You'll get a coupon.
Well, let's not make it complicated. If they do 3, then they enter our contest. But if they do 3, give them the Spacious Skies certificate.
Yep.
So I don't want them to have to overthink this.
Absolutely.
A lot of people.
Absolutely. I like to have something for everybody who participates, as opposed to just a drawing for those that did it. So, that's SKIES, Audrey.
Well, Allie is so good about this. She probably would give a discount or a special coupon.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that enters. Now, are we doing up a sign? You doing up a sign with the partners on it for your coach?
Yes. I'll probably use that thing that you got right there. I've got to order it in the next couple of days. I just measured the space.
I've got that without the crooked edges.
Yeah. Now, Bob, will you type up Spacious Skies Campgrounds.com? SKIES. Yep. There you go. That's it, Audrey. Yep. Don't reserve yet. Let me see if I can get you the discount.
Yep. All right. We are right
Out of
there
time.
at the 8:00 hour. Thank you guys. Fascinating show. Thanks for joining in tonight.
Join us next week where we will have a
road.
tutorial.
You got any ideas for the show, you let me know. And again, our sponsor, and not only is the sponsor of the show, but also giving away the Winnebago. Where are we? The Winnebago. There you go. You want to be able to take that one home with you. All right.
Nice night, everyone. See you next week.
Yes.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.